Marina was a mermaid with a problem. While every other young mer creature in the coral city of Aquilantis was planning elaborate, flashy costumes for the annual Halloween Reef parade, she wanted to be something simple, something quiet, something utterly, profoundly unmermaid-like. She wanted to be a starfish to Starfish. Her best friend, Finn, a boisterous seahorse, had sputtered, nearly choking on a mouthful of kelp. You could be a siren queen, a glowing anglerfish, a kraken with 100 wiggly tentacles, and you want to be a bump on a rock. But Marina was firm. She envied the starfish. They didn't have to race on swift currents or sing complex, haunting ballads. They didn't have to style their hair with iridescent bubbles or worry about the shine of their scales. They just were. They clung to things, serene and silent, observing the world from their fixed five-pointed perches. The main obstacle, of course, was her tail. A mermaid's tail is long, powerful, and undeniably present. A starfish has no tail. It is essentially all arms. "I'll just tuck it," Marina told her reflection in a polished abalone shell. She coiled her shimmering turquoise tail beneath her, trying to flatten it into a manageable lump. It was uncomfortable and, frankly, looked less like a starfish and more like a mermaid who had sat on a sea urchin. Her mother, seeing her struggle, swam over with a gentle smile. "A starfish, my pearl. That's a thoughtful choice. But you can't hide what you are. You have to build on it." Later that afternoon, her mother returned from the deeper trenches carrying a roll of something leathery and orange. It was the discarded skin of a gnarled, old sun star. For authenticity, her mother winked. With a spark of inspiration, Marina got to work. She didn't try to hide her tail. She used it as the central core. She carefully wrapped the orange starfish skin around her hips and the top of her tail, securing it with sticky strands of kelp glue. Then, for the arms, she gathered materials. She found 5 long, straight, and wonderfully buoyant pieces of driftwood. She painted them a brilliant sunset orange using crushed turmeric coral and fastened them to the central body with loops of tough sineweed. The effect was instant and magical. From the front, she was a perfect 5-armed starfish. Her own torso and head formed the central disc, and the driftwood arms splayed out around her. Her tail was completely disguised, becoming the structural support that held the costume aloft. On the night of the parade, the reef was a riot of color and motion. There were merpirates on trained dolphins, jellyfish with glowing plankton lanterns, and Finn, who had taken her kraken idea and now floated as a magnificent, a-tentacled menace. Marina, however, did not swim. She had practiced. She found a large, flat-topped sponge near the parade route and, with great effort, hauled herself onto it. She arranged her 5 driftwood arms perfectly and went still. At first, no one noticed her. They were too busy watching the swirling, dancing, singing costumes. But then a little clownfish pup pointed, "Look, Mama, a starfish." His mother chuckled. "It's just a costume, sweetie, but it's so still. the pup insisted, and it was. While other costumes whizzed and twirled, Marina's performance was one of absolute stillness. She didn't blink. She didn't flick her fins. She just was. A serene orange starfish on a sponge. The judges, a trio of wise old sea turtles, swam past the flashy kraken and the shimmering siren queens. Their slow, ancient eyes scanned the parade, unimpressed by the frantic energy. Then one of them, a turtle named Cora with a shell like a map of the world, stopped. Her gaze fell upon Marina. She nudged her fellow judges. They swam closer, their slow flippers causing barely a ripple. Marina held her breath, her lungs burning. She focused on being a starfish. She thought about the sun filtering through the water, the gentle sway of the currents, the simple joy of existence. The lead turtle smiled, a slow, creaking expression. "Now this," she murmured, her voice like stones tumbling in the deep, "is artistry. This is commitment. She isn't just dressed as a starfish. For a few moments she has become one." A hush fell over the section of the crowd nearby. They all turned to look at the motionless starfish on the sponge. In a world of constant flowing motion, her perfect, peaceful stillness was the most captivating thing they had ever seen. When Marina was announced as the winner of the Most Authentic Costume Award, a gleaming pearl on a silverweed strand, a collective cheer went up. Finn, her kraken tentacles bobbing, was the loudest of all. As the crowd swarmed around her, Marina finally allowed herself to move, a slow, happy smile spreading across her face. She had done it. She had been a starfish. And for one perfect, quiet Halloween, she had discovered that sometimes the most spectacular thing you can be is simply, wonderfully, still. The end. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.